In Rambo 11, Sylvester Stallone's legendary John Rambo teams up with Jason Statham's skilled operative Danny to take down a powerful global syndicate. Betrayals, high-stakes missions, and a shocking twist reveal that nothing is as it seems. With the world on the brink of disaster, Rambo must confront his past and face his greatest challenge yet, trusting the one man who might have turned against him. John Rambo had long since put his violent past behind him. Living in seclusion in the rugged mountains, he had embraced the solitude, seeking peace after years of battle and bloodshed. But peace is often fleeting, and for Rambo, it would be shattered by an unexpected visitor. A knock on his door one cold evening brought Danny, a British secret operative played by Jason Statham, who had tracked Rambo down for a mission he couldn't refuse. The world was in danger again. A criminal syndicate led by the shadowy figure known only as the Shadow had re-emerged, its influence spreading far and wide. They had been responsible for countless global disruptions, from cyber attacks on national infrastructures to assassination plots that threatened the stability of entire governments. The threat they posed wasn't just dangerous, it was personal. The Shadow had taken someone dear to Rambo. This was no longer just a mission, it was a quest for justice. At first, Rambo refused. He was tired. He had fought enough wars, seen enough death, and left enough carnage in his wake. He didn't want to return to the field. He had found his peace, or at least he thought he had. But Danny was relentless. He didn't just plead for help. He laid out a dire situation that no one else could resolve. As the hours passed and the fire in the hearth dimmed, Rambo's resolve began to crack. There was no choice but to return, but this time, he wasn't just going after criminals. He was going after the very heart of global corruption. The two men were an odd pair. Rambo, grizzled, scarred by years of war with a no-nonsense approach to everything. And Danny, a sharp, resourceful operative who had grown accustomed to high-tech warfare and covert operations. Their contrasting styles made them uneasy allies at first. Danny relied on gadgets, surveillance equipment, and intricate plans, while Rambo preferred simplicity, straightforward action, and brute force. Their differences were more than just tactical. They were ideological. Where Rambo saw the battlefield as a place for survival, Danny saw it as a puzzle to be solved. Their first mission together took them to Eastern Europe, a region where the Shadow's agents were believed to be hiding. In a dilapidated remote compound, they hoped to uncover information that would lead them to the heart of the syndicate. The air was thick with tension as they approached the compound, each step weighted with the knowledge that the enemy could be watching. They crept through the shadows, silent as ghosts, but when they reached the heart of the compound, they found it empty. No agents, no evidence, just a trap. The realization hit them hard. They had been outplayed. Whoever was behind the Shadow had known they were coming. It was a calculated move, a psychological game that put them on edge. Rambo didn't flinch, but Danny's anger was palpable. They had walked into the trap, but they didn't fall for it. They fought their way out, leaving no one behind but a trail of bodies and unanswered questions. As they escaped, Danny made a revelation that made Rambo's blood run cold. He had been under surveillance for some time. Their every move, their every conversation had been monitored. Someone on the inside was feeding information to the Shadow, and that someone was close. Rambo's gut told him that nothing was as it seemed. They were being played, and it was only a matter of time before they figured out who was pulling the strings. With the walls closing in, Rambo and Danny realized that their only chance was to go after the core of the Shadow's operation. The leads took them to a secret island hidden deep in the Mediterranean, a place so well guarded that no one, not even the most seasoned operatives, could infiltrate it. But Rambo had made a name for himself by defying the odds. He and Danny would go in, guns blazing if necessary, to take down the Shadow once and for all. Their arrival on the island was met with fierce resistance. Armed guards, automated defense systems, and traps that seemed designed to kill anyone who dared enter their domain. But Rambo had been in worse situations. He adapted as he always did, using his surroundings to his advantage. Danny, on the other hand, relied on his quick reflexes and high-tech tools to disable security systems and neutralize threats. Together, they made their way deeper into the island, uncovering clues about the Shadow's identity. But as they got closer to the heart of the operation, the truth became clear. The Shadow wasn't just one man. It was a collective, a secret cabal of powerful individuals from governments, corporations, and criminal organizations, working together to manipulate world events and control the global stage. The revelation hit Rambo like a sledgehammer. This wasn't just a battle against a syndicate, it was a fight against an invisible enemy that had his hands in everything. As he wrestled with the enormity of the conspiracy, something worse was brewing. Danny had disappeared. Rambo was alone on the island, left with only his wits and a sense of betrayal. He searched the island, following the sparse clues left behind until he found Danny again. But this time it wasn't a reunion, it was a confrontation. Danny wasn't just another ally. He had been working with the Shadow all along. The truth shocked Rambo to his core. Danny had played him, but as the tension between them escalated, Danny revealed the real reason behind his betrayal. He had been blackmailed. His family had been taken by the Shadow's operatives, held hostage until he agreed to cooperate. Rambo, with his own tortured past, understood Danny's choice, but trust had been shattered. The two men had to face off, but this time not as enemies, but as two men trying to survive a situation they never expected to be in. Rambo's resolve held firm as he overpowered Danny, but he gave him a chance to redeem himself. They formed an uneasy alliance, now bound by more than just the mission. The two men, both hardened by the world's injustices, would face their final challenge together. As they infiltrated the Shadow Central Command, the battle turned brutal. Every move was calculated, every moment a test of their skills and trust. The fortress was a maze of high-tech defenses, hidden passages, and armed guards. But Rambo and Danny fought side by side, their partnership stronger than ever. As they reached the inner sanctum of the Shadow's lair, they found the truth. The Shadow wasn't just manipulating governments and corporations, it was orchestrating a global war, a war that would change the world's power structure forever. The final showdown was more than just a fight for survival. It was a fight to stop a catastrophe that could have destroyed everything. In a heart-stopping climax, Rambo and Danny took down the inner circle of the Shadow in a flurry of gunfire and hand-to-hand combat. The Syndicate's power crumbled before them, but the fight wasn't over. As the dust settled, Rambo had to make a choice: return to his quiet life or continue the battle against the world's unseen forces. He could never fully escape his past, but now, for the first time in years, he had a chance to build something new. With Danny by his side, the two men walked away from the wreckage of the island, uncertain of what the future held, but ready to face whatever came next. Rambo had never been a man of many words, but as the screen faded to black, his actions spoke louder than anything he could have said. The war wasn't over, but maybe, just maybe, the beginning of peace was within reach.